Good afternoon. It is week 2 of the school term, and I just thought I would jump in and share a couple of tips that I'm using. So I've got one child who's just started university. I've got one in senior school and one in primary school. So I kind of run the whole gamut. And it's been a lot this week. So there's first day of uni and then all of the other things. So I just wanted to share some of the techniques that we're using at home to calm things down a little bit. One is, so I'll start from youngest, try and stay in the queue. So with the youngest one, I'm really noticing that he's very tired. So he's just started a new school and he only knows one child at school. So he's just getting to know the other students. I'm getting to know people at the school, and it is a very firm 3 o'clock pickup. That actually picked up at 3:07 the other day, and that it already called me. So that's new for me because I have a little bit of time not seeing this. So I'm always working on that. But just making sure that I'm really sort of within those boundaries to make sure I'm not late, because that would really stress him out, obviously. And then the ways that I'm doing that for me personally is that I need to set timers on my phone. I need to set alarms to make sure that I notice what time it is so that I'm not late when I get there. We've been working on making sure that he goes to bed earlier. Now, he, at the end of the day, is quite wound up. He's a child that needs a lot of physical activity. So I'm really encouraging him to move in the afternoon. And then also I've been incorporating a little bit of sort of, I mean, I don't know how else to call it, but they call it physical play, but, you know, like wrestling with him, essentially. It's not necessarily something that comes naturally to me, but just trying to help him have a physical outward expression of what goes on for him helps him settle. Then also to, I've done baths with oils and, salts, Epsom salts, magnesium and things in there. That also helps. Also making sure he stays off a computer. That's always does not help anyone get to sleep when they're staying on the computer. And then I've asked both boys actually, so they're now diffusing in their rooms. So I'm getting them to put the diffuser on at about just before dinner, so that when they go upstairs, their room already smells beautiful and relaxing. And those aromatherapy benefits really help just kind of their whole system is being flooded with it at nighttime. The other thing I do is, so I'm a Reiki practitioner, and so I've been doing some Reiki on them. Sometimes I do it when they know, sometimes I do it when they don't know, but you don't really need to have the Reiki skills to be able to do it. All you need is intention. And so just coming into your loving heart space and then thinking of that particular child, if you've got multiple, and just, feeling into their energy field and feeling if there's something in there that you can sort of help them with. All energy work is about intention, so you can really just clear that for them. If you understand a bit more about chakras, you can go into the chakras and just see if there's anything there. But another one is just checking in with them. Now, if you ask your child what they did that day, they will usually just say nothing, right? Like, you're not going to get an answer. So asking more specific questions. And I read somewhere years ago that your children will often answer you a bit more if you give them something about your day. So for instance, today I'll get in the car and I will say, I'll pick him up. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. Just let him have a little download. But then I'll also say, I dropped, one child here and I did this, and then I did this during the day and I did that. What did you do? Did you enjoy that snack that I made? What happened at recess? Who did you sit next to? Did you have any new classes today? So kind of asking specific questions, but without interrogating. So there's like that little balance there. I also diffuse in the car. I have one of the waterless diffusers. Actually, I've got one here. I'll show you. I've got one of these in the car. And so I just disconnected, sorry. It is, how do I show you there? So actually it's on at the moment. And so I will diffuse that in the car. I'll use a nice relaxing blend. So diffusing in the car, I find helpful as well. That's now going right across my eyes and computer screen. So I'm just going to put it back over there. The other thing I will do is I'll put oils on myself before I pick up the children. At the moment, I'm loving this one. And but anything that's really very soothing, or what you just feel, is going to work well for them. The other thing that I've been doing, actually I should say that I've really been doing this with both actually all three of them. It's not really different depending on, I don't think it's different depending on the age, except that I've got one who's able to tune into her own energy. And then the others need a bit more help to do that. But the other thing I was going to say is, I can't do that. I've got the background blurred because it's messy behind me, and now I can't show you this chart. But I'm going to load this chart up somewhere, which I can't show you. It is a, oh, there you go. Oh, no, it's gone away. It is a VitaFlex foot chart. So you can use that to, you do not need to be, I'm really sorry if you're a reflexologist or Chinese medical practitioner, but you can look at these charts and it just shows you areas on the feet that you can apply oils or apply slight pressure to help your child. So if you imagine that the big toe is like the brain, the next toe is the eyes, it shows you here the sinus, the pineal, the pituitary, the thyroid. So you essentially could just like put maybe a lavender, something, a piece of calming on your hand and rub it down the whole foot, rub that in a little bit. If you can, use a bit of magnesium oil, something like that. That's going to be super soothing for your children and help them before bed. I don't know about you guys, but I find that I've got both my boys get super chatty at bedtime. And it's like all of the feelings that they had during the day, they don't want to be alone with those thoughts. And so I really try and allow more time then, which is hard because I'm tired. I want to go to bed at that period of time. And so my hottest tip there is to allow more time at bedtime. Actually allow, go up earlier than you plan. And I think the only way to do that is actually to make food during the day. And if I've got a busy day, that doesn't get done if I can't make dinner during the day. So it is that constant juggle of doing that, but maybe do something that's a quicker dinner to cook or get them to help you cook dinner so that they're in there with you. That depends if you've got sports activities or whatever during the day. But that is really my hot tips are using essential oils, using magnesium, whether it's orally or topically or in the bath, using those techniques of like active play where they're actually able to get things out of their body. You can do things like, so I cook most nights and I end up washing up. And so, but they wipe up, but we might put music on when we're wiping up. And so trying to get them to sort of dance and move. So they're moving their body and just letting those stuck emotions move through them. And then I might use intentional Reiki to help them also discharge some of those things before bedtime. Also, do you find that your children fight right at bedtime? Mine do all the time. Drives me mad. But that it would be another place that you could just use oils or making sure that you're with them. Like if I send them upstairs to go to bed by themselves, it just doesn't work. So really trying to monitor and changing the way that I do that without sacrificing my own sleep, which, is always a bit of a struggle. But those, I guess, are some of the techniques. Keeping more stimulating foods to during the day, not at nighttime. So, we don't really have chocolate at nighttime, but they would have that during the day. I made them some kind of, healthy version of a Wallaby bite to take to school today. I've already had two, they were delicious. But using those foods during the day, and we wouldn't really have those things at nighttime anyway. Also trying to make sure that they eat a lot, like a fair bit after school. I find they're really ravenous then and not so hungry at dinner time. So that's kind of the point where I can catch them, which is hard when I've got my one that goes to so much sport. It's really hard to feed him enough at that time of day. So hopefully those tips help. Also, my children have, and not these ones, but they have, these are so filthy, I can't see out of them, but they all have yellow or blue blocker glasses. And so as a family, we put those on at sunset. Well, the children and I do anyway. And that just helps to start to sort of turn things down. Sometimes we'll sit outside and look at the sunset, but that is challenging, obviously, with mosquitoes and things as well. But hopefully you found that helpful. I'd love to know if you've got any hot tips about how to help your child wind down at nighttime. And it doesn't take long before they settle into the routine, and then we do too. So enjoy first term for all of you and your families, and we'll see you soon. Bye.